So, what can I tell you about me that you'd be interested to know? I'm not as tall as Dan. He's about 6 foot and I'm 5'10", and he's probably twice my age. What a crack if he turned out to be my long-lost dad. If he was, I wouldn't have done what I did to you. That's a fact. I asked him before I started this letter if I had to spell out what I did. We already know what you did, he reminded me. He's right, and it was a dumb-ass question. I guess you want to know why I did it. Well, that's not something I can tell you without bringing a whole heap of trouble down on us all, and I think you've already had enough of that, thanks to me. So, where do we go from here? Dan's advice was to keep writing anything that comes into my head, and he'll look over it the next time he's here. He has to do this because of all the swearing and street slang that comes out of me. He says you won't want to read all that, and I can see he's probably right. It's weird, me sitting here thinking about you and how our paths crossed. It shouldn't have happened, but it's no good saying that now because it did. And in our different ways, we're both paying the price. It's a high one for me, I'm coming to terms with that, but for you, I don't know how you're going to live with what happened to you.
Chapter 1. Marcus Huxley Brown looked up from the warning call he just received on his mobile phone. His handsome face was taut, pale, showing none of its usual boredom or arrogance, or the self-satisfaction that came from having so much. He'd been born into an established family. He had all the right contacts, and was as famed for his city successes as he was for the celebrations he threw when deals came off. "They're coming for me," he muttered, the paleness of his skin turning to grey. He wasn't looking at his wife. Maybe he wasn't even speaking to her. "Who?" she asked, unnerved by the fear in his deep grey eyes. He stared at her, seeing her past the commotion in his head. "You know nothing," he instructed her tightly. "You've seen nothing. You've heard nothing. Have you got that?" His fists clenched, and she wondered if he was going to hit her, blame her, or something worse. Who was coming? She knew better than to ask a second time, and stepped aside as he headed out of the room, across the hall, and into his study. "Come here!" he shouted. Obediently, she hastened after him, and stopped on the threshold of the room she was rarely invited into. He was standing behind his desk, a Huxley Brown heirloom, one of many that cluttered the house with stately gloom. He looked haunted now, agitated, hunted, as if not knowing where to turn or what to do. Had things been different, she might have felt sorry for him. "You don't speak to anyone," he told her gruffly. She nodded. She'd had this instruction before, but usually he didn't take any chances. He'd whisk her upstairs and lock her in one of the top-floor rooms. She used to fight it, but she'd learned not to. She often heard things from up there, but she never saw the comings and goings outside, cars pulling up, people entering or leaving the house. The windows were too high. However, voices carried, even if she couldn't make out who they belonged to, or what was being said. She knew what kind of people came. They were his set. The all-male network that he and others of his ilk had created at university, in the city, in private clubs, in various capitals, to trade information or to start rumours, or to import and export insider knowledge. Girls came too, for the after-parties, lots of them. Paid well, she imagined, and the dealers in mood or sexual performance enhancers came too. Shady, sinister characters from an underworld she could barely imagine. On the nights Marcus didn't come home, she guessed someone else was hosting proceedings at their luxury apartment or townhouse. She never asked, and he never told her, but she'd come to recognise a descent from the drug-fuelled highs when it was in front of her. There were other nights, lots of them, when he behaved like a regular family man, sober, a little tired, but happy and feeling generous at the end of a long, productive day. She could easily mistake him then for the man who'd comforted and befriended her after the tragedy of her first husband's death. She still felt strangely attached to that man, and the way